Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hey, Kev, how you doing? Welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever this video finds you. Welcome to the Trading Syndicate.org. I'm JJ. Hey, Mike, Alexander, how you doing? Hey, David. Dan, Autumn Labs. Good morning, good morning. So, little heads up at the beginning of this video, and I'll repeat it again. To watch the streams starting tomorrow, you guys are going to have to be in the room. And so please join us at the Trading Syndicate.org. I will be doing YouTubes from time to time, but we've just had a lot of the folks in the room want specialized attention, so we're going to be doing the streams like we did before we took them public. So if you want to keep watching the streams, check us out. It's only $19 a month. It's not a ridiculous amount of money. There's a deal right now, and we hope you join us. And I'll be back. I'll be doing other streams and things like that. But the twice daily, our members seem to want to keep it in-house. So we'll try that, and I hope you all join us. Hey, Moran. Hey, Kevin. How are you guys doing? Good to see you. And our overnight inventory this morning, after that huge liquidation, is we are 100% long. Now, for folks who are in the room, the link will be the same. So just, I will put a link in every morning, and you'll be able to just click on that. Okay. Hey, Christian. Hey, Tim. How you doing? So we had a huge liquidation yesterday, Friday, I should say. Right now, you can see the market's got everyone underneath 66.26 is trapped short from Friday. That's where the bid is in the overnight. Let's see if that holds throughout the day. Our overnight inventory is 100% long. We have not had any kind of significant correction to overnight inventory since Globex opened. That tells you where people are trapped short. Where people are trapped short are where the bids are. So any kind of correction is going to take that overnight low, and we will try and tag the close. If we can't get down there, folks, think of this as a look below and fail of 65.47, and we are going to go and rotate right back up. These markets are rotational in nature. Unfortunately, for people who were listening to financial media, they played you. You know, talking about things like the great market crash, Black Friday, all this BS that they went on and on and on and on with. You know, they played the retail public again. And a lot of institutional people, I think, are caught short underneath that 66.26 level. So let's see how that plays out. That is a massive short position. And if that short position holds going into the end of this month, um, you know the drill. You folks, you shouldn't be alarmed or surprised or taken aback by this kind of thing. Um, you know, your guy down south is kind of like Dennis the Menace. Hey, Zazu, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Dennis the Menace came out and said, tariffs, and then he went, psych, just kidding. Which is funny, but it's not funny if you're caught short under 66.26. And, you're 100 points offside. Not a great thing. So let's see what happens. It's kind of spicy. We've traded some decent volume. What are we at here? Right? Expect the price action to be a little back and forth. Right? We're going to have some big green candles, some big red candles. It's going to be a little volatile because, let's face it, that liquidation caught a lot of people offside. One level I'm watching, and I'm going to bring this over, when you have a massive liquidation like we did, I like to look at a 4-hour chart. I find a 4-hour chart's really helpful because what it can do, perspective, right? This is my last live, Dan, on YouTube for a little while. We're trying, I'm going to be very honest with you guys, we're trying to get some people in the room, right? I've got to look after some people in the room, and, it's a little tough. So, we have to, get them looked after, right? Gabriel, I waited for you on Zoom this morning, my friend. Did you look at your email this morning, Gabriel? Fernando. Yeah, sorry about that, Mr. Simpson. Okay. So you thought it was the later session? Okay, so I will send the Zoom link after today's session. Okay? A little bit of a miscommunication. I thought it was for the morning session. My bad. No problem. Okay. Yes, live trading. Zazu, where are you, my friend? Everyone's confused. I knew this was. Good stuff. All right, so that liquidation that we had, folks, took us down all the way to cost basis, right? We had distribution, but look where we went, right to 65.40 and a quarter on Friday. Okay? Turned around and boom, straight back up. Sometimes draw a 4-hour candle chart, draw the volume profile. You'll be surprised how accurate these things are. Right? Yeah, I know you folks are a little upset about the live YouTubes, but hey, we're only charging $20 a month. So, I mean, it's less than $1 a day. I figure it's worth it. Yes, of course. There will be Zoom meetings in Discord, Rufus, every morning, twice a day. That's all. Not a big deal. my partners decided to change it up a little bit. And I'll still be doing, the odd Zoom. I'm going to try and do at least one or two Zooms a week, like Q&As and things like that. So I'm not abandoning you guys. It's just the people paying for the room were kind of wanting a little bit more service. Got to look after your customers, Thanks, DryFit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. It'll still be on this is a different type of YouTube. I didn't even know you could do that until they told me on Friday. Anywho, so 4-hour charts are kind of helpful, actually very helpful, because if you had looked at that 4-hour chart on Friday, which is when I did it, and I did it up and I posted it on the room on Saturday, and I said, hey guys, look, we went right to cost basis. What do you think about that? And we closed above 65.40, right? Thanks, Mr. Simpson. We're always trying to do the right thing for our members, And so I let my partners kind of figure out what we should do. I just get up here and talk and see how we can make some money. They figure out the business development side of things. Which I stay in my lane because what I'm good at doing is trading and taking companies public. I am not the greatest at building businesses because usually I take a company public, we sell the stock, and we move on to the next deal. So, having said that, you got to let the business development people do their thing. Right? Yes, I will, Rosemark. Don't worry about it. I got you covered. Yeah, no problem, Dan. Don't worry. I won't abandon you guys, right? I won't abandon you guys, but we're just trying to drive some business into the room. That's all. I'll be very honest about it. So, if you knew, right? If you knew that we came to 65.40 on Sunday night, all weekend I was thinking about this and I was like, is this another one of his big shakeouts? Is this another margin shakeout? And that's exactly what it turned out to be. It's exactly that. It was just another margin shakeout, right? Just like the song, it's just another tequila sunrise. It's just another margin shakeout, right? So we shake this thing out. And then Sunday night he said, oh, I'm just kidding. So when I was watching the Open, we look at where the position is. It's down here at 95, 65.95. So the wholesalers are getting to sell all that cheap crap that we stuffed it down their throats on Friday. Look at O period. That's that last half hour from 4:30 to 5 o'clock that a lot of old traders don't look at. I look at that because I'm like, man, if we open in that spike, then we'll go back and forth. We opened way above that spike. Look where we opened. The M period high. This is that 330 high is the overnight low. To the tick. To the tick. Right? To the tick. Exactly. They offloaded their inventory, Michael. Now you're cooking with... That's the whole business. Right? We flushed the trapped longs. We reset the cost base. right? And now everybody can go make money again. Hey Raj, how you doing? This market, right? Why do they all? No, it's not. It's everybody's selling, Michael. Let me put it to you this way. Riddle me this, okay? Say you're long up here, okay? Say you're long. And we start taking that low, and that low, and that low, and that low. You're going to get nervous and you're going to puke out. And the people who gave you the money to trade with, the people who loaned you money to trade with because you trade on margin, they're going to come knocking. So you're going to get sold out. Does that make sense? So basically, you're taking all these people and you're shaking them out. You grab all that cheap inventory, go right back to sell it. Remember now, folks, that this market is set up for longs. It's not set up for shorting, right? It's not set up to short. People get paid by going long. Investors make money from capital appreciation. Fund managers make money from assets under management. Yeah, but you don't have to worry about when. All you have to do is not be in a position when it bottom falls out and use stops. So you let it liquidate, then you let them bounce around, pick it back up, and then what we like to do is just trade back and forth, right? So how we make our money is we make our money after the move. It's simple, it's less risk because your boundaries are well defined. Wouldn't you rather know where your risk is than be in the dark? How does it become an efficient market? Well, if you got to sell 100,000 contracts, you can sell 100,000 contracts. How do you like that? Where you get priced, that's different. That depends on how good a trader you are. This market is about moving inventory. Don't ever forget it. Right? If there's one thing that you can take away from learning from me, is this market is about inventory. It is about the acquisition and distribution of product. This is ES, NQ, oil, gold. These are all speculative things, right? This is all speculation. And let me tell you, the speculators in this market these days are massive. Yes, a lot of people were on margin and they got plucked out, right? And the deep pockets buy it. Well, a lot of them would just get auto liquidated, Michael. The bigger ones would get margin calls. The thing is, what's important is how do you react and how do you make money off this, right? What you got to do now is you got to have a trade plan. So my trade plan is when it liquidates like this, I get the hell out of the way, right? So when it was liquidating on Friday, I went for a walk and I had a good time. Then I came back and I looked at it and I went, okay, I'll check it out on Saturday. Did my research, right? Picked out my levels, did my 4 hour chart, went, this thing's going to bounce. It's going to bounce, and there's the bounce, right? Okay? How do you know the bounce will come on the same day as the liquidation? Well, the liquidation was a Friday. But, well, because that 4-hour chart I just showed you, when the market liquidates to my level and is only one tick away from my level, the low of Friday was 65.40 and a quarter. My level was 65.40. That's kind of like getting slapped in the face going, "Doi, wake up." It was an inventory correction. The problem is, folks, when you have a range in a market that's a 200-point range, people forget it's speculation and they think it's the end of the world. This market is like a speculator's market on steroids, right? They're huge, large accounts, hundreds of millions of dollar accounts, and they're playing fast and loose. Why would you want to buy it? Will you try to buy the bottom and hold it over the weekend? Don't be nuts. It just tells you how to trade the next day, Rosemark. Now, you're in my room now, so I want you to email me these questions, and we're going to do this week. That's not for you. That cost basis is not for you. You don't have the money for that cost basis. Have you ever heard of the term economy of scale, Rosemark? So say you owned a little store and you sold TVs and stereo systems and stuff like that, right? You can't do business the way Best Buy or Walmart does business. You don't have the same economy of scale, so that's not for you. So you as a retail trader, right? You just need to make your money every day, right? Get these ideas out of your head that you're going to go long at the bottom and sell at the top, right? That's not for you. There's wholesale business and there's retail business. We are retailers. That's why I have the trades that I talk about, the stuff that you started to look at when you joined the room, right? That's what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about the look below and fail. So you could take trades where you come in, right? The market looks below and fails or fails to look below. You buy a few contracts at 65, you put your stop at 64, and you sell them at 70, right? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Rosemark. There you go, bow hunter, right? Unless you see a clear range forming, you let the big dogs do the trend days, right? When it trends up or down 200 points, you don't have to worry about that. Pretend that they're taking the goods to market for you so you can do business, right? Then when you get a nice balance range, you can trade that back and forth. There's so much good opportunity. 3-point trades, 5-point trades. But everybody thinks they're going to make 200 points and retire, right? That's just nuts. That's like me saying I took one anatomy class and I'm going to go do a mitral valve transplant as a cardiothoracic surgeon, right? You don't have the skill to trade a 200-point range. You don't have the money to do it. You don't have the tech. So why not make $500 to $1,000 a day and pay yourself? See what I'm saying? Instead of getting all stressed out about picking tops and bottoms. Let the billionaires deal with that. They've got the bullets, they've got the technology, they've got the sophistication, and they've got the skill. Right? Well, it's easy to say that the market's not for retail anymore, or you could just get better. You have two options, right? You have two options in business. One is you can improve your business skills, right? And do business when it makes sense because you understand the business. Or move on to something else. It's not an easy market to trade. I'll give you that. Right? But as we said in the room, this weekend I put 3 videos in the room and I wrote extensively about what was going on, right? So, if you don't like the product, yeah, then you go trade something else, right, Horizon? It's up to you, right? Different strokes for different folks, right? But every week I try to help you guys improve your trading skills. Now, whether or not you want to do it is up to you, right? I hope it works out well in your X bonds. I don't even know what the hell those are. Right? I trade one market, and I'll tell you something. I've been trading ES since 2012, and I will be completely honest with you. The first 4 years were hell. Because, first of all, I didn't have a mentor. Second of all, nobody would tell you, the people who did know wouldn't tell you where to take the trade and why, right? Rosemark, if you want to be successful or do you want to be a tinfoil hat guy? You have to ask yourself the question, brother, right? Do you want to make money or do you want to whine and complain about insiders and all of that stuff? Don't be that guy. Be the guy who banks. Be the guy who puts his head down and, excuse my language, says, fuck it, I'm going to do well. You got it? Excuse my language, but don't pussyfoot around with that stuff. It's not going to serve you at all, right? It's not rigged, it's a business. You guys don't understand the business and you're trying to make money in a business, and then when it doesn't work out, you go, it's rigged, right? No, you just don't know what's going on. Get educated, get disciplined, get in there, get focused, right? Time to put the helmet in, put in your mouth guard, strap in, and get to work, right? You got to do it, right? Dig in or die. It's not an easy business. And if you think retail is tough, put you on a trade desk, right? Exactly. You should know your entry and your exit before you even enter. Every battle is won before it is fought. Don't pussy out with all this negative talk. Retail trading is frickin' hard. That's why we try to teach you something in the room. That's why I do this, right? Yeah, now when it opens, let it open. If you're not a fast trader, just sit back and relax, right? If you're not a fast trader, just sit back, relax, take notes, right? Right? Don't get all stressed out. It's going to be choppy, right? Don't worry, Rosemark. DM me in the room. I'll get you. We'll be doing some 101s this week. I am active on Twitter, sir. You DM'd me to get an invite? Retail trading is hard because you can't cheat and you don't have any money. So you're out there in trench warfare doing warfare with a plastic spoon. Everyone else has got a howitzer. So you got to be disciplined. Okay, Jason, let me go take a look at my X. This frickin' X, I apologize. There's so much spam in my X inbox. Oh, there you are. Hang on. Stay with me. Okay. Check your DM. Like, all I'm getting is naughty emails in there now. Okay. Look for 76. If we break 76, we got to sell her at 80. Be careful and sell it to that strength. Okay? The bid, ladies and gentlemen, is right here so far, right at the open. Bids at the open. Let's see, 76 to 80, 82, no, maybe 78. Let's see. Good stuff. There we go. Out one. I bought 77. I sold 78 and a half. So 78 a quarter. A buck and a quarter on that one. Just testing to see whether my reflexes are fast. Now, there's that seller. Right? They've been there since here. You see how the sellers came in here? Let me get rid of this volume profile. Yeah, this AI trading coach that Steve's and Ray have built, it's very cool. Okay, so that seller is blocking us, right? Look for bids at VWAP at 72, ladies and gentlemen. 72, right? So when I started out, all the mining brokers were making huge money, 100 grand a month, 200 grand a month. And I couldn't get clients, I couldn't get work because they all had their own traders. And then something really interesting happened. A huge mining scandal happened in Canada, which wiped out the mining industry for 10 years. At that time, I decided to focus on US business and OTC business. Look below and fail of 76. I'm waiting for the next candle to open. And those traders and brokers who were making 100, 200 grand a month went from that to being lucky to make 5. So I focused solely on US business, learning market making relationships, order flow, backfilling, all of that stuff, knowing about the SEC, their rules and regulations. And I specialized in that and picked up all that revenue. Got to adapt and change, and that's what we're doing with this AI. Even old dogs can learn new tricks. That we couldn't hold 76, so no look below and fail. Those sellers are selling, right? If we take out the open and we take out 69, look for 67. If 67 breaks, we're looking for 64. There were some bids here before, right? Big red candle. Right? Now, if you're not comfortable with a faster market, don't feel pressured like you have to trade, right? So if you just sit and watch. The other thing you could do is in a fast market, remember certain things. You can go and replay the charts, right? That's what I did. I replayed the charts on Saturday morning, right? So if you're short, I'm short 60, 68 half, covered one at 66 and 3/4, and the other one at 67, right? I'm flat. Not the best trade management. I was a little slow. I could have done better. Remember I told you 64? I am short biased. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm short biased. But on our chart, we had 66.60 and 3/4 off of that 4-hour chart. I've marked that level here. Long 65/4, selling them at 77 1/4. Thank you very much for coming out. I am flat. Look below and fail. Why did I take the long? Well, because we held 60 and 3/4, got back over 64. There's a long, right? This is not rocket science, but the execution is difficult. The execution is not easy and it takes time. You got it, Moran? Nice work. What did I say earlier? I'm short biased. What is the trade I took? Long. Now, how did I do that? Riddle me this. Because I've learned how to trade against my bias, which I swear to God is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's harder than giving up sugar. It's harder than giving up donuts and pizza. Learning how to trade against your bias is the hardest thing I have ever done. Because I'm short biased as hell, and I can't believe there's more selling. There isn't more selling. But am I going to trade short when I see bids? Bleh, no way. No way in hell. Right? Not into it. It's horrible. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. You're thinking this could be a back and forth good thinking. Chab, where are you? There you are. I was wondering where you were yesterday. Where does my bias come to begin with? 30 years of selling stock. I've always been the seller. So I keep expecting a seller to show up, which actually happens in small cap markets. There's always a seller. There's always some chucklehead who's got zero cost stock in a small cap market. I was the chucklehead. In a legitimate market like an ES futures market, nobody has this at zero, right? So you have to understand that it's a different market, and it's got a market with limited supply. So it's much more difficult and technical to short ES. Yeah, when a price can't get to that level, that means they don't have to sell at that level. So Oman, for example, let's check out 66.64 right now. You see how the market came right to 64 and then it started to lift, right? 65, 66? Because they found there were buyers underneath that. What you need to do, check this out. Maybe this will help you visualize. Look at the level and pretend it's a glass door. So the sellers get to the glass door and they see a bunch of buy orders, a bunch of people lining up to buy. Then they'll do this and see if they'll follow them up, right? So when the price can't get down underneath 64, long 64, half, quarter, wherever you can get in, put your stop under 64. It's based on inventory and order flow. Now, you got to remember, I've got 33 years in this business, Rosemark. So I have picked up a couple of bad habits, right? Like one bad habit I had, let's see if we can hold 64 again. We're going to come down. Is that I've never paid for stock in my life. I have never bought stock in my life. It's always been given to me for free. And when you work like that and you always think there's more, you are not as disciplined as you should be. So I have biases just like you guys, but they're a little bit different and that I had to work on. 64 bid again, right? Not a problem, Truth. If it's too fast for you, just chill, right? When in doubt, sit out, right? You could always review these charts and replay them and slow it down. You know what I mean? Rewind, replay, slow it down. There you go. Okay. David, good to see you back again. Damn, I should have been long 68. Yeah. Not much rotation, eh, Moran? So somebody's short like crazy under 64. Yeah, they're going to grandfather it in. Those sellers are still there at 79. So also Wednesday, at 11 o'clock Eastern time, I'll do a Markets 101 for all the new members who sign up in the room. And of course, when you do join the room, just DM me. I'm always available. I'm always in front of the screens, unless I'm sleeping, which is, I'm 5 hours ahead of New York. I don't. Oh, NQ. Sorry. Um, I don't do daily charts on the NQ because I don't trade it. But I have. I'll send that to you. Where are you? Where are you? There you go. And my chart book's also in the room too if you're using Sierra. Whoa! Aggressive seller at 76. That was an aggressive sell, right? So, who was I talking to earlier? Today is like the show, right? Anybody watch Bull Durham? The show is major leagues, right? When you have this kind of price action, this is when the large traders come out and this is when they feed on the slower traders, right? So just be careful. It's a great day if you want to trade sim, right? You had a huge liquidation on Friday, and there's going to be a lot of competitive order flow today, right? While things get sort of sorted out and figured out, and hopefully Dennis the Menace doesn't do anything crazy today. He just kind of chills out and enjoys his Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he won't tweet anything, and we can clean this market up a little bit. So there are going to be times where it's going to get fast, then it'll slow down, then it'll get fast, right? There you go, Howard. Zone to zone, right? Way to go, Howard. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing really well. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just do a bit of work every day. Nice work, Colin. Nice work. J Bob would be proud, my friend. J Bob would be proud. I know I keep mentioning J Bob, but he's one of those Vancouver mining promoters. The guy had grit, made a huge amount of money, lost it all, was literally homeless, came back and made it back again. That's grit. Sellers are parked there at 79. Oh my God, those sellers are like offensive linemen at a buffet. Every time we get to 79, they swipe all the good food. Colin, who's in our room, used to be an accountant who worked for him. He was one of the greater promoters in Vancouver. Good old J Bob. Got a 64 to 78 rotation going right now. Bit of a fast market, but that's okay. Hey, Rosemark, if you were long under, say, 66.60, right? Say if you had position at 66.46, you'd be an aggressive seller at 79 too. You'd just be banging out those contracts. Overtrading doesn't work for a lot of people, Mike. That's smart. Take the money and run, just like the song from the 80s, right? Take the money and run. Get while the getting's good. Oh, yeah, that's right. It is Columbus Day, isn't it? Now, folks who have been with me, Rudy says something very interesting, and it's quite true. He says, remember maybe 5 years ago, I wouldn't trade the first half hour, sometimes even the first hour, because I couldn't figure it out. People are like, what are you going to do? I don't know. Right? I'd have to wait an hour sometimes before the market would put together some sort of structure that I could figure out. Right? And that's okay. If you can't figure it out, don't worry. Oh, look, we've cleaned out that 80 seller. Let's see. Can we go move it now? Where's the next place they're going to sell into us here? It's okay to say you don't know what's going on. It's really liberating, right? When you don't have to have the answers. All you got to have is a business plan that can take advantage. If something happens, then I can do this. If that doesn't happen, then I don't have to do anything. If the price action is too fast for me, right, then I sit around and wait for a better time. Carrying out the gold bars? Hey, at least there was gold there, Colin. Beautiful. Beautiful. You know, a lot of the times my buddies would go, okay, we're going to do this in a deal, we're going to do that in a deal, and I'd be like, I don't know, guys, that sounds kind of risky. Well, okay, you don't have to do it then. I'm like, okay. I go, you guys do it, and when it blows up, I'll go clean out the stock after you guys blow it up. And that's eventually, I made a lot of my money from house cleaning. I was kind of like, you know, maintenance. Oh, that's nice, Colin. That's nice. It's pretty interesting to see how a mine works and everything. All right. Now those sellers they've scaled up to 83, 84. So overnight inventory was long, 100% long. Did we get any kind of meaningful inventory correction to overnight inventory? There's the open. Yeah, maybe 9 points. Nowhere near the close, right? Closes all the way down here, right? So when inventory doesn't correct, if overnight inventory is long and it doesn't correct when the market opens, that means that you've got some serious buyers, right? I don't think they're going to discount it more than 19 a month zero. That is the discount. Sorry. So, oh, there's no code. Okay. Thanks, Alexander. Sorry, I'm not a billing guy. They don't let me touch the back end. That's too responsible for me. Steve does all that. I didn't enter any codes. Okay, cool. Okay, good. I was gonna try and say something like something smart ass, right? Like, what's the code? Potato salad. No. Would you say the M high is a definitely Chung Min? The M high is definitely a useful reference point because if capital I capital F, if we get down here, mark that area 63 6632. Sorry, that line is just incredibly too big. Right here. See that M high? And that is the overnight low to the tick. Why? Because of the 0 and 1 mafia. The people who write code are very exact, right? They're very exact. So the algorithms execute to the tick. Why? Because there was a ton of buy orders down here, right? Tons and tons of buy orders, right? And those buy orders, as soon as the market opened and saw those buy orders, it ran away from them. Make them chase price higher, right? It's a very useful reference. Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, I was like house cleaning, except I didn't get to drive an Acura and wear a tuxedo. Spend months cleaning up the float of a stock. Generally, if you see what happened yesterday, yes. If we open far away from the end high, then maybe keep it on reference. It's not always going to be. But in Friday and Sunday's case, it was very important. Do we have news? If you have an M period spike too, then that's also going to be a useful reference in the following Globex session. So what I do in the room, if we have a spike down or a spike up, right? Like Friday we had a spike down, but not in M, in O, right? So O period had a spike here. You see that spike? Where O takes ends low and then spikes all the way down to 65.40 and a quarter from 65.89 and a quarter. So those kinds of things definitely. That's where market profile is very useful. Okay, let me tell Steve. Clearing 88, we'll be looking for 94. And if we take out that stop at 91, let's see where they sell into it. Okay. Taking all the upper stops. It'll be back and forth. There should be a seller somewhere in here. Let's see where they rear their head. How many people do you think are short under 66.26? And how many people do you think are short now? This is how you think tactically. How many people do you think are short between 66.60 and 76? Looking for 94? Close? 94. If we accept over 94, you're looking for 98. I do not see a short, my friends. I see trapped shorts, but I do not see an opportunity for a short. And once again, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this market has the most annoying habit of running out of supply just when everybody gets short. Poor high, double top, poor high. Can we get another? Yep, there we go. Now that's repaired. Now we're going to backfill. Let's see where that B low hangs out. If we can't go and take this low here and drive it lower, it's going to rotate higher. A pullback would be nice. Obviously, they heard us, so it ripped. Well, you got to have a sense of humor. Maybe. Let's hope so, Michael. Let's all do the rain dance and pray for some liquidation when we come into the next set of single prints which are up here at 67.05, because we stopped dead in our tracks in Globex, you see? So let's see. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the sellers will now come out of the bushes and start attacking. Let's see. Excuse me. Seller before that 98 stop. Okay. Ah, bingo. Backfilling means retracement. Backfilling is the trade desk way of saying you take it up, right? And that brings in demand. And then you go back and fill in that demand with supply. And that's how you sell size. Oh, great question. The backfill is a type of inventory correction. It's classified as an inventory correction. So they're not different. The backfill is a type of inventory correction, which is just like zero. You remember Kmart with the blue light special, right? For 10 minutes only, Quaker State Motor Oil's on sale, 2 for 1, but only for 10 minutes. That's what the backfill is, right? There you go. That's to try and entice buyers. See, this is what we're doing now. You see? We backfilled for 2 minutes, right to where we were selling before. And now do you see how the market's going up off of that 68? Great question. What a timely question. Beautiful. You're going to have to join the room. That was a greatly timed question. You nailed it, right? That's the backfill, and that brings in buying. That is an inventory correction. But what that is, it's like teasing, right? It's like a fishing lure. It's when you like float the lure on the water to try and get the fish to grab it. Yeah, that's those single prints have been acting like a shield. Exactly. The sellers are in control. See, in markets, the sellers set the price according to the amount of customers that come into the market. Now, a fancy way of saying the amount of customers come into the market is saying order flow. It's just the flow of orders coming into the market. So if it's slow, we might have to put stuff on sale, right? Pretend you're selling donuts, right? Exactly, zero. Pretend you're selling donuts. You got to get rid of them before they go stale, right? Otherwise, we're going to have to take those donuts and sell them at nighttime in Globex to all the drunk people coming out of the club. Yeah, sellers. And have you ever heard the thing? And this is another thing, right? Um, you know how they say buyers are in control when the price goes up? Why would buyers want to be in control when price is going higher? Who wants to pay more? Think about it. See you, Colin. Thank you, sir. Get some rest. Exactly. They chase. They're not in control. there's a lot of like things that people say in financial news and X that really confuses traders. But markets are really simple. You obtain a bunch of cheap crap and sell it at a higher price. The longer you can do so, the more money you make. Eventually, you're going to have to put it on sale. Buyers are in more control on the way down because they're pulling their price down that they're willing to pay, right? So the sellers chase them down, right? But basically, just think of it. Sellers are in control of the price and they don't care. They'll just set it wherever you want to buy it. Exactly, zero. Ah, yes, eBay. I remember it well, right? And restocking your inventory is what they did on Friday. See, they restocked their inventory under 66.60, and now they are selling that inventory above 66.60. They're making a beautiful profit. Beautiful. Now you guys are cooking with gas. See, and this is what we call a rotation. And we like trading rotations because you kind of know your playground, right? That's why it's the stock market, not the stock hot tub. Thank you very much. Well, it's really not their fault, Zero. On social media, the normal, time per click is 10 seconds, 5 seconds? It's really hard to see, like, nobody looks at social media and goes, deep thoughts, right? I mean, how many people really do that? They just click and click and click and click and you're on to the next thing. You can't blame people for having a 5 second attention span because we've trained them to do it with TalkTick and TikTok and all of this stuff, right? So you can't really blame them. They've been trained to have a 5 second attention span. It's not like they click on something and they go, let's ponder this for half an hour, shall we? And debate it. That's not how social media works. So we don't have the focus that we used to have 20, 30 years ago, right? Yeah, we don't have the same attention span. That's why I want to keep it simple for you folks so you can execute. Now, I don't see a trade just yet. I wouldn't mind being a buyer on a look below and fail of 84. I don't feel comfortable shorting it right now. The other thing too is like I got to check myself too. Like sometimes I'll say things like I don't feel comfortable shorting it. Well, is it because it's something I'm seeing or is it just because I'm traumatized from a past short, right? You got to ask yourself that, right? So I'm always kind of running diagnostics on myself to see whether or not I'm with it. You got bids at 88. Now you see the candles are getting smaller, right? The candles are getting smaller, so that means business is slowing down. Right, so now we wait and see who's going to come into the store, right? There you go, David. Another QR code, right? Okay. That point of control is 4,400 contracts down there. Let's see if we can move it up here. Good distribution, and then maybe we can put it on sale. Let's see. Boom. See? See how the point of control moved up? It was down here, and then it moved up here. Good distribution. Now, I'm going to watch these candles. And see. Now I'm going to, because I've done okay on the mini, I'm going to switch to micro just in case I screw up. I'm thinking of a short. I'm thinking of a short, and I'm short 88 and 3/4, just one micro, 86 and a half bid. Instead of flapping my gums, I should have put it on. The point of control moved up, so I thought, hey, good distribution. Maybe we can put it on sale. That's why I drew that line here. You see? And when these candles couldn't come in, I took that short. See, that's how you walk through a market. When you walk through the candles, you can see, right? Good distribution, blue light special at Kmart, right? Right back down to that level. Let's see if we hold it. If we break 84, 82, you'll be looking for a move back down to VWAP, right? With maybe a little pause here where these sellers are. Okay? That was a fast trade, and I could have done better on that had I not been talking. The only reason I thought short is because I saw the point of control move up, and then I saw the sellers move their offer down. Now, why am I good at looking for sellers? Because I used to be one, so you can spot competition. So when you are a look below and fail trader, and you're going from a long position and you're trading, you can see where the competition is. Like right now, they won't let it get above 88 because there's competitive selling. You see? There you go. Yeah, it's just tradingsyndicate.org. So this Wednesday, we'll do a 101. Might even do one tomorrow if you guys get bored. Competitive selling comes from trapped longs first. They're the first to bail. Then the people who sold them their product will undercut their price. So Zero, for example, if I sold you product at 66.90 and then it goes to 88 and you start to sell because you're like, JJ, this isn't going higher, I'm going to sell. I'll be okay, great. Right? You go to sell at 88, I'll go at 87. You go at 87, I go at 86, and eventually you'll puke it out at 84. I'll buy it from you and sell it back to somebody new at 88. See that? So the initial selling comes from trapped longs, just like the initial buying comes from trapped shorts. Those who are trapped flinch first. Make sense? Cool. See how we got up to that 92 area and they came and they tapped into it, right? They started selling into it. This is the simplest way to trade. I like to make trading simple because trading is freaking hard, man. So I want your analysis to be simple. I want what you're thinking to be simple so you can train yourself how to react. So eventually you get into that flow state where you're in and out of trades, you're cutting risk before things go bad, like you're trained, right? You're trained like a pilot. You're trained like someone who doesn't go, oh God, I better get the manual, right? I mean, if you walked in and if you were having open heart surgery and they wheeled you in there and your surgeon's chain smoking, and he goes, hey, listen, JJ, I don't know. This might go either way. Uh, you know, had a big fight with my cat this morning. I'm not feeling really good about this surgery. You would like bolt, wouldn't you? Don't trade that way. Attention, passengers. We're going to hit some turbulence. I can't remember what to do. I'm going to read the book. You guys hang on for dear life. Be back at you. That would not really do well. You know, if you were a pilot, that would not go over well with an airline, right? So why would you want to trade that way? Nothing going on here. Right? Now we're just waiting for the next. This is like coffee time, right? This is like algorithms. They went for a smoke break, right? They're outside. They're outside the exchange. All the algos puffing on Marlboro Reds, right? See if we could get some customers to come in. Not much going on. So when you get small candles like this, just relax, chill out. You don't have to do anything, right? Know when to relax, when to engage, right? So when you're relaxed, all of that information that you miss, you're going to pick up. You're going to pick up little subtleties, right? Like the tops of the candles, right? The pace, things like that. Oh, you're going to Scotland tomorrow? You should come down to Liverpool and visit. Edinburgh? Yeah, I had some friends who went there other weekend. It's a beautiful city. All right, so let's see if we could get under 84 and a quarter. Hey, Thomas, how are you? Have a safe flight. Now we're looking for 82. A bit slow. Drop it down into VWAP. Finally, some liquidation. What I'm looking for through the day, folks, I'm looking for 66.60 and 3/4. Let's call it 61, right? I want to see what happens when we get down to this level here. A period, we couldn't get down there, right? It's a level that I came off of one of my 4-hour charts. What would be an okay trade is a short underneath 76 down to 70 and 64, right? And as I was saying that, oh man, I am late to the party there. I'm short 72 and a half, covering 70 and a half, trying to cover 70 and a half. See, I was really, really slow on that trade, so my fill was horrible, right? So I'm short 72 and a little bit, covering 68, covering 69, and now I am flat, right? I called out the trade, but my execution, right, instead of shorting it here, I didn't get my act together in here, and I got lucky that it dipped under 70, right? Not the best trade, but that's okay. It was ugly, but I'll take it. Do you guys see how that worked? Do you see that? Does it make sense? Right? I saw that, and I saw, you know what? Under VWAP, they're going to puke this inventory. So I was lining up to try and hit 75, 74, and I didn't get it together until 73. It happens. Right? The front running VWAP on the top of that candle, watch, watch, watch. Let's see if we could clean that out and get over 76. I'm not so brave on the second attempt. Well, I just took a short, Renee. If we get back up over 76, up to about 79 will be a look below and fail. I'm expecting more of a sell here, but if we don't get one, we'll rotate back up to 82. Hope that makes sense. Okay. I didn't take that short again. Sorry, got distracted. Well, folks, does anybody have any questions? Anyone? We got a couple of minutes left. I want to encourage you guys to come join us at the Trading Syndicate. I appreciate all of you. Looking for 64 now, Renee. Let's see if we can get down there. Those of you who took the short in the last minute, very well done. POC has moved lower. You're in a short, good for you. See, I knew it. See, you came back from vacation all ready to go. Nice work. Nice. Good, 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 good. Get your bids in so you make sure you get covered, okay? That's all you got to do. And remember, at 66.60, there's probably going to be a buyer. Right now, they're front running him. Look at these rat bastards. Excuse my language. But look. See? Look. Bid. Bid. Right there. Bottom of the candle. Right? They're bid. Right? This is the level I'm focused on. And they front ran it. You see? Come on now. Come on. My grandmother hits bids harder. Come on. Sell. Come on. Don't give me this weak cheese. Depends how short they are, Rosemark. If they're really short, we won't get there. Friday was messed up as it is. Okay? Friday is messed up as it is. Well, then he came out yesterday and what did he tweet? Just joking? That's got everybody upside down, right? Nobody knows whether to sit, to stand. They don't know what's going on, right? We'll see what happens. It's going to be a long day. There's going to be good opportunity, folks. Just don't overtrade. Make your money, get your money, and get out quick, okay? Don't hang around. And if you're long, if you're short, don't wait for an engraved invitation to sell or cover, okay? Make sure you take your money today off the table. Don't get too greedy. Be long-term greedy. A little bit of money every day. It'll add up. Right? So I won't be on live stream tomorrow on YouTube. We're taking it back into the room. Please come join us at thetradingsyndicate.org. I will be doing special sessions and things on YouTube. When I do, I will announce it on X. I'm vwaptrader1 on X. And I want to thank you all for being with us. Really appreciate it. And where's my friend? I'm going to send you a Zoom link after this. Not sure if he's still there. Gabrielle, I'll be sending you a Zoom link after this. I hope you're still around. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Be safe out there and DM me anytime if you need me. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.